Hello, welcome to the sideboard here at the Team Modern Open in Columbus, part of the SCG Tour, brought to you by Ultimate Guard and Carnox Chairs. I'm Nick Miller alongside Primeval Titan enthusiast Becky Adlman. How are you doing?
I'm great, how are you?
Pretty good. New year, SCG Tour still here. Modern's still the name of the game. And while Modern has not changed a ton over the last couple of months, one of the decks that has popped up and has taken the online meta by storm is the Simic Titan deck that you're playing. You've played all flavors of Titan, from Titan Shift and Breach and all that. How do you like this deck, and what is it doing that's different than these other Titan decks?
So the main thing with this deck specifically is going to be the Okos, because the Okos are giving you room to deal with things that, say, Valakut couldn't. Like, say, Grixis Death Shadow, you have Oko to turn it into a 3/3. You have the engineered explosives that you can play that are, a good utility against that deck. There's just a lot of problems that Valakut had that this version of the deck fixes by focusing on building your board state with Field of the Dead instead of trying to kill their creatures aggressively.
Right, we're calling it Simic Titan. It's not an amulet deck. It's not a Valakut deck. It's more of a Field of the Dead / Primeval Titan deck.
Yeah.
And this is what, when you take a look at the mana base, a ton of lands, but also just a wide variety of them.
Yep, a lot of people are calling it like Amulets Titan because it's like the lands are very similar in a way. But yeah, the name of your game is Field of the Dead. That's all you're trying to do. You're trying to put zombies into play. There are some versions that are playing like Craterhoof Behemoth that are trying to go over the top, especially for the mirror.
Mm-hmm.
That's something that in testing we found that we were siding out a lot and just overall just didn't want. It's a lot of fun. It's definitely better at powering out Titan than, say, Valakut was. This is like a consistent turn 3 Titan.
Right.
Always turn 4. You don't have the problems you have like the Sakura Tri-Builders that are really good at blocking and helping your plan. I never realized how much I was going to like a Boreal Grazer in Modern until I started playing this deck.
You and everyone else.
Because it is absurd how often you cast this insane free spell and Once Upon a Time, and all you want is this 1 mana 0/3 every single time. Whenever you cast it, you just always want to be doing that. And I think my favorite play so far with this deck has been just turn 1 once into Grazer and a Simic Growth Chamber. It's just been awesome.
Yeah. So we've got those cards, as you mentioned, the busted Once Upon a Time, Modern playable Arboreal Grazer,
Yeah.
which a lot of people didn't think they would ever say. Search for Tomorrow as well. So you have all these cards you can do on the first turn to make sure you get your ramp, followed by Tri-Builder into Titan. That's, there's no ramping after turn 2, basically. You can do it, but all the stuff happens before turn 2, and then you're just freed up to play Oko and Prime Time from there.
And the nice part is about this deck is that you can go turn 2 Oko and still Titan on really early, because your castle is a ramp spell. So that's really convenient, and it's hard to explain how absurd it is when you go turn 1 ramp spell, turn 3 Oko, because it's very rare that these ramp style of strategies can function without 2 mana spells actively. So you're cutting the Explorers for the Search for Tomorrow, just have more turn 1s, and it opens up your turn 2 to play 3 drops with, Oko.
Right, and Oko's nuts in this type of deck, because you're not used to really having a ton of interaction. Now you have it, and all the fun payoffs for being a ramp deck.
Exactly. I think that's specifically why I chose this deck over Valakut this weekend, because it's really hard for me to say no when Valakut's in an okay spot. But I played 3 leagues with this deck, and I was like, oh my god, every single game I was winning from positions that I would have been dead in the water with Valakut. And that just says so much about Oko and what it does for any deck.
Take us through some of the lands here. I mean, there's too many to name them all of the variety of lands, but you have, like you said, the amulet package of Growth Chamber, Teleria West to kind of do that thing.
Yep.
But it also pulls double duty in this deck from the ramp spells, right? Growth Chamber just kind of allows you to double up.
Yeah, exactly. One of my favorite things about the mana base so far has been the Field of Ruin, which I can thank my friend Brandon for. He sold me on it very strongly when he mentioned the Urza lock with Cryptic Command and Mystic Sanctuary. I was like, oh man, that's genius. This stops that. Tron's a kind of bad matchup. And I'm used to Tron being okay, it's not.
Right.
So having the Ghost Quarters and the Field of the Ruins are really nice. Vesuva being anything is of course great. There's a lot of the Prowess and the red decks going around, so Radiant Fountain's been huge. What else we got?
Bajuka Bog.
Bajuka Bog's always, if you find that Dredge player, that Storm player. Luckily, I have 2 Storm players next to me.
Right, you got most of the field covered.
Yeah, so I don't have to worry about finding as many Storm players as I normally have to be worried about.
What else we got? A Blast Zone. Talk about that one, as well as Cavern. This one's pretty much Titan or Giant all the time. So
Giant all the time. I wouldn't be surprised if at some point during the day I named Beast with it. We definitely did that online a couple times. Blast Zone is great. It's so huge having untapped lands that are also utility. So you can turn to a Tri-Belter, but then you still have this Blast Zone in play that has text against things like humans, which I just played last round. I played against humans, and I was able to turn 1 explosives into turn 2 Tri-Belter and turn 3 Oko, and it just didn't feel close anymore.
Right, and that's a thing, Titan Shift had so much trouble with before, was the humans deck being able to just name all the key pieces and then run you over.
Exactly. Name Field of the Dead.
Yeah. Notably, you also have black mana in this deck. You have Overgrown Tomb, Swamp, and that's for some sideboard cards. So we'll move there. We have Abrupt Decay and Ashiok Dream Render as your need black mana to cast spells, but you also have Dismember as well.
Yes.
Take us through that splash.
Okay, so I originally wasn't on the black splash for this deck. In my car right up here, me and Caleb were talking, and Brandon had mentioned that Abrupt Decay was really nice against opposing Ashioks because all the Urza decks were playing it, and this deck is playing it, so this being a really popular thing, or at least online, for people who are able to get access to the deck are probably going to play it. So we expected so many Ashioks. So we were like, all right, well, why don't we play Abrupt Decay? Because they can't Mystical Dispute it.
Mm-hmm.
They can't, this is a clean answer. And it doesn't take much for us to be able to play something like that. So that's why the Swamp is there. Because we have 4 Search for Tomorrow, 4 Tri-Belters, and it guarantees a way to find it, along with the Field of Ruin.
Mm-hmm.
So you have, that way to get the black sources. The Dismembers were, I'm not really sure what, this is going to sound weird to say. Dismember is, of course, a good card.
Right.
Haven't quite been playing the deck long enough to figure out what I'm scared of that Dismember is there for.
But whatever it is, you have the answer.
Whatever it is, I got the answer for it. It's really good for Urza itself. It takes care of that. Veil of Summer, of course, great. One cheeky thing that's been really nice is my opponent, round 1, was on the Karn deck, and he chaliced me on 0. I think it was technically Utron. And it was great because I had the Summoners packed in my hand, and I have Veil Summer in my deck. And I was like, wow, if I draw this one, a Veil Summer is actually kind of cool because Chalice can't counter it anymore. So there's a lot of cheeky things with Veil Summer that are really nice.
All right. Other sideboard cards here. We have 3 Mystical Dispute. This is your way to fight on a stack. Is this for Urza, I imagine?
Yeah, it's basically there for just Urza. If we run into the white control deck, it's going to be fine. But yeah, we can't determine. We need Urza cards. These are going to be our Urza cards. Yeah.
We have Summoners packed in the deck, so you have Reclamation Sage and Thragtusk as your extra targets here.
Yep. A Boreal Grazer buys you a lot of time, way more than a deck like Valakut would ever be used to. So when I was thinking about what card I was going to put in that slot, whether it be Baloth or Thragtusk, we kind of came to the conclusion that Grazer, if you have it, is going to buy you so much time that you can afford to go to, wait the extra turn to have the extra mana for Thragtusk, which is just going to have a higher impact than Baloth ever would.
Yeah.
And the Reclamation Sage is there for, the obvious reasons. Any artifact or enchantment you can't deal with. Urza, some of the lists are starting to Blood Moon now because they have those sneaky little Astrolabes.
Right, because they can do whatever they want.
Yep, exactly. They can do whatever they want. So having Rex Sage there is really nice because you can deal with their Blood Moons, which honestly you just can't let happen.
Yeah.
Valakut used to be able to handle that probably a little bit better because you had so many ways to get your forest in play and,
Yeah, this deck is way more weak to Blood Moon, it appears.
Yeah, definitely. That I can imagine so. If you get the Oko in play before they cast Blood Moon, that would be really nice because then maybe you can deal with something that way. You have 3/3s that you can attack through it. But as far as the rest of the deck, Blood Moon's pretty detrimental, so having a way to deal with that's really important.
Yeah, your extra EE and your extra Veil in the sideboard, then 2 Damping Sphere. What's that for? Storm, that kind of thing? Or
Storm and Tron. The age-old things that are not good for these kind of decks. Storm's definitely really bad. I can't imagine that the matchup's anywhere close to good. Maybe if you're on the play, you can sneak a win with a main deck Veil of Summer or something like that, or a Bajuka Bog. But I don't expect that matchup to be necessarily good, which is another reason we stuck with the Ashioks.
All right, and you are with who this weekend? It's a team event, so we'll shout them out.
Yeah, I'm with Daniel D'Amato and Caleb Sheard.
The Storm partners, and then
Storm boys. Yep. I was supposed to be playing Storm with them this weekend, and that's what I was getting ready with all week. And then 2 days before the tournament, I ran a league with this deck. I knew I shouldn't have, because I knew I was going to want to play it, but it turned out my teammates were very supportive in my decision to switch so soon.
All right.
So,
well, you are playing the deck, so wrap it up with how do you like the deck and how's it positioned in the format right now?
I love it so far. I think it's really good. I think it's really good against Urza game 1. And if you can win that game 1, then the odds of you sneaking in game 2 or 3 are really big. And it's just good against the field in general. I know that Dominic Hardy was the person I at least saw this list from. I don't know if he created it himself, but he made it very clear that he played it for a certain metagame at a local that was going to be good against Urza. And I was like, okay, well maybe it's not that good against everything else. And I messaged him and, kind of picked his brain a little bit. And it turns out when we played the league set, it's just good against everything. Like, you have at least like a 40 to 50% against everything. And that's kind of why Urza got good. It had like a 50% against everything. And as long as you were playing optimally and picking the right cards in your deck, then you had a pretty good chance of doing well throughout the tournament.
I like to be on the deck that's good against everything. So
yeah, and I'm not used to that. I'm very used to being on a deck that loses to half of them. So it's very comforting,
All right, awesome, Becky. Thanks for filling us in here. Simic Titan, that's the deck. Stay tuned to Star City Games all weekend long for the action here in Columbus.